Joke told to King Juan Carlos. Poem by Michael Botur. So the Holy Roman Emperor, King Juan Carlos, gathers Hernán Cortés, Gonzalo and Fernando Pizarro in the pub and orders that they regale him with their exploits in the New World. Whoever makes him laugh the hardest will be gentrified, beatified, lionised. Cortés kicks the contest off. In Mexico, I assumed the guise of God. I ascended to Tenochtitlan, a Venice 5,000 feet up in the clouds, dogged by 300 illiterate, homesick Spanish, whose ships I scuttled. In a continent of 100 million, I ask about the fate of just 2 white castaways. Duplicitous Malinche is indentured as my translator, my mistress, while I carve a path through Aztecs across the Yucatan, twisting the Tlaxcalan. Tludili comes to the border, armed with only diplomacy. He licks his finger and sucks the dirt. He hands around straws to us in our peaked helmets, carrying sharpened crucifixes. He slits his wrist, sprinkles blood on the canapes, and, to please us, chalks up 1 million squirming slaves, has their hearts cut out with obsidian blades. Still, we are not appeased. The slaves run screaming into the lake, wash the pigment off their copper skin, fetch their shields and feathered spears. Emperor Moctezuma believes I am a robotic steel god, blessed with a blunderbuss, gifted from above. I order Malinche to tell him in Nahuatl that my people suffer from an illness. It's terminal. We'll die without a certain luscious yellow metal. Ashamed that we've begged, we fetch pliers to wrench our medicine from Moctezuma's very skin. The funniest part, Boss Carlos, is we forced the Aztecs to forgive us and our trespass. We cast the first stone. We were without sin. We had the book in which it was written. Gonzalo Pizarro scoffs. He tells Juan Carlos, ignore Cortés, for my joke is the side-splittingest. It is I who must be lionized. I arrived in Peru, marched up into the Amazon, trampling Machu Picchu. 6,000 Ks trudged through tropical slush with 6,000 sows in a platoon, and slaves we worked to death. God met us in the forest and commenced the test. Starving, desperate, we stole the local folks' cassava, gorged on it till our stomachs bloated with gas. Every forest feature inhospitable to Spaniards, poisonous. My pockets were stuffed with cinnamon and gold dust. Inedible, useless. Mutiny bisected us. Orellana, my best lieutenant, forged a life raft with nails made from horseshoes. Promised he'd be back to save us with a dugout canoe full of food. But Orellana sailed 5,000 Ks down the Amazon the wrong way. We despaired, descended into the primitive, the satanic. We would eat steaks sliced from the horses' backs and patch the abscesses with mud to keep the beasts' hearts beating. When God was done mocking us, we backtracked our blister sores to Ecuador, eating stick insects, and we were not scorned for failing to find El Dorado and strip the golden skin from him. In fact, we became famed for forging the first economy in this country. See, we raped our way through the country and bartered our festering syphilitic cocks for potatoes and smallpox. Whether the Amazonians wanted it or not, they couldn't resist King Carlos, and that is the funniest bit. Francisco Pizarro interrupts. Wait till you hear this. So, we clambered up the Andes, sweating in cotton armor, our abscessed scabs leaking burning, melting cheese. We oozed pus into the alpaca blankets. Atahualpa, the supper Inca king, was good enough to offer us. I declared the arrival of superior Spanish Renaissance man by garroting in public. His father, Huayna Capac, fuck. I charged my slavering stallion into Atahualpa's face, this king of 10 million who sat atop a continent, shat his pants, aghast at our parades of alien stallions, unseen beasts from the east, bells chiming in their manes. The Tihuantinsuyu couldn't withstand the blast of cannon. We raged enough to shake emeralds from the people's pockets, to fill a ransom room with golden goblets. My friar birthed a Bible so hard at Atahualpa he was thrown from his throne. 1 ego and 60 crossbows pinned 10 million at Cusco. Mummies were stuffed inside the throats of saints. We melted their temples, chutnified their culture into a boiling mestizo gazpacho. But drop into San Salvador, Santiago, Cusco, Quito, and laugh your ass off, Carlos, because the best bit is they have come to idolize us, thanks to the guy you got to sponsor us, because the punchline is, ours was a Holocaust endorsed by Jesus.